everyone, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel, Never Out of Books, and this is I'm a Sucky Booktuber wrap-up of December. I had no idea I hadn't wrapped up December. Because this is a Sucky Booktuber wrap-up, I don't remember anything about these books, like, at all, so it's gonna kind of suck. But I will go through what I do know and see if I can't remember some things based off my reviews. So from looking back at things, I finished the first book of this series, Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett, on the first day of December. This is a young adult fantasy novel. I remember she has the magic to influence animals in a world where magic is forbidden and people who have it are killed, I think. But she's trying to clear her father's name, I believe. It is a duology. I actually have the second book sitting next to me, but I didn't remember what this one was about. So I didn't pick it up and was thinking of sending it back to the library. I gave it 3 stars. I read The Reluctant Cowboy by Katie Pierce, contemporary romance novel, a first book in a series. This is about this family. The young people have all gone off and done their things, and the family ranch is being run by like their grandmother, who is getting old, and she calls them back to try to get them interested in running this ranch and making it feasible. So this is the first one story. This is Chase. Why does everyone name their characters Chase? It's like such a weird name. I don't know if I would like ever name my boy Chase, but okay, whatever. Anyway, that's like a side thing, just kind of weird. And then January, whatever. She is like a historian who's trying to keep this ranch going, and he thinks she has bad ulterior motives, and yada yada yada. It's their love story. It was a 3-star book. Nothing to write home about, but nothing bad. And I think I have the next book in the series still on my shelves. I read the first 3 books on this Strange House series. The first being School for Unusual Girls. The second is Exile for Dreamers. And the third is Refuge for Masterminds. Now, here's the thing. Thought this was it, and I was wrong. Which irritated me. So, because I enjoyed them enough that I really need to know what in the world's going on, and we need to conclude this. So the last book isn't even out yet, which just... but that's my fault for not researching, as opposed to like the author's fault. They're by Kathleen Baldwin. So this has like all the buzzwords. So set in Napoleonic times, like 1814, check. Set in a boarding school, check, for unusual, really smart, very interesting girls, check. Like, this hits all the spots for me. Love it. It is young adult, so that means it's not juicy, which is like lovely as well, like not sex-filled nonsense. This is another thing I didn't know. Each book is each girl's story in the house of these 5 main characters. So yeah, there we go. 5 books. There's only 3 here. Didn't know that beforehand. And so each is kind of like their little romance as well, with an overarching theme of how they're going to help foil Napoleon. They're all spies and stuff. And it's like got like little steampunky kind of elements and like a little magicalness, but not all of them. And they all have just very different like abilities. It's fun. I enjoyed this. The only thing I didn't like and don't like so far is that they're kind of regurgitated, because the villain is always the same person, and yet they always end up letting the villain go and keeping going. It is getting a little bit bigger, where the villain isn't now the main villain, but part of an organization, but still it's always the same. So that kind of made me not like them as much as I really would have liked to. That being said, The first two I gave 4 stars. The third one I gave 3 stars. Physical book wise, I remember at the end of this December, I was like, you know what? I got all these books in book boxes and all these things. Let me just like read them. I know it's like read a book that I just received. That's shocking, but I figured why not? So I read Back to You This Christmas by S.L. Sterling. Don't remember much about what this is about, but again, it was another one where I was like, the cover looks ridiculously sexy, and it wasn't like that so much on the inside, which was good. So like if you were looking for something like super sexy, then this is not it for you either. Like you would be disappointed. I don't like all that sexy stuff. He's continuously pouting about the girl that left him at the altar, I believe. Yeah, wallowing in self-pity. That is correct. He was very obnoxious. He does not like Christmassy stuff. She kind of does, like a little bit. And because he has no family, again, he ends up staying at, because dude is her brother's best friend. That's always fun. Now, that is a trope I actually do like. So there was that, but you know, I'm not into holiday books. This was not hugely holiday, like crazy, but I'm not into that sort of thing. But I was pleasantly surprised. Enough surprised that I gave it 3 stars. Like, it wasn't awful, it wasn't fantastic. Like, the good and the bad were kind of outweighed each other to give it a happy rating. I read the first 2 books in the Southern B&B Mystery series by Carolyn Fardig. I read those because I have to read and review the 3rd book that I got from NetGalley. The first one is Southern Discomfort. The second is Southern Harm. Like I believe I said, they are cozy mysteries. They are set in Savannah, Georgia, where these 2 girls and their uncle, now I can't remember the relationship, I apologize, own a bed and breakfast. They have a very flighty mother, an absentee father, and things happen. So these 2 sisters, the main character is Delilah, all right? But I think her sister is better being a sleuth than she is, which is kind of interesting and kind of throws me off just like a little bit. There is a love interest, which is fun. The thing that I don't like, that I just didn't even realize was going to be in there, is that there's mention of her uncle's ghost and he helps solve the murders. Don't like that sort of thing in my books. So because I said I would read and review the 3rd book, I will do that, but I probably will not continue with this series after that, just because I don't like ghosts. I don't like that. I don't like playing around with that. I gave them each 3 stars. They were good. I like her other series better. Audiobook wise, I read A Bachelor Establishment. Looked like this on Audible. It is by Isabella Barclay. And this is like a historical mystery romance sort of little mashup. It is a very calm book though. Despite the fact that there's a mystery and shooting and stuff, it's written very, very calm. Like, it was very calm to listen to. Narrator was great. I gave it 3 stars because it was a little snoozy, I think, as a audiobook. The narrator was good, but you know, she can only do so much with the contents, and it was a little monotone. Eleanor is a widow. Lord Ryde is a jerk and who's hardly ever at home, and he comes back home so that he can like glean whatever he can from his estate and sell it. But they run into each other and someone shoots at them and hits her. And they are closer to his house than to hers, so she goes over to there and brings her household and ends up cleaning up the estate and things like that while she heals. Like, well, she doesn't actually clean up the estate. She has all of her people clean up the estate. And they're trying to figure out who was the actual target of the shooter and why anyone would want to shoot them. My freebie for the month from Audible was The Christmas Pact. by Vi Keeland and Penelope Ward. This was a short, more like a novella romance, contemporary romance. And this it was short, it was great. I gave it 4 stars. It was fun. So this was a, like mistaken identity and then some fake dating and all of that woven in. Even though it's called a Christmas pact, that was more the time of year, so it is not very holiday-ish, and so I was pleased with that and happy. It was a cute listen. I listened to Wanderlust by Lauren Blakely as part of the Audible romance package. I gave this 3 stars. So this book, I gave 3 stars to, like I said. Like the actual contents, I didn't like very much, but the male part is narrated by Richard Armitage. Whew. Wow. Yeah, he can narrate anything he wants, and I'm not usually one of those type of girls, but I think I listened to it just to hear him talk. I'll just be honest. He's fantastic. And that's all I have to say. I don't even remember what the book was about, but I remember Richard Armitage. Also, part of Audible romance package, I've listened to About a Dog by Jen McKinley. This is the first book in the Bluff Point series. I gave this one 3 stars. I thought I would like it because it has a dog on the cover and there was a dog involved, and there is a dog involved. That was probably the best part of the book. This is a debut novel. So thinking that it's a debut novel, it's actually pretty good. I think I might continue reading this series. She's a left at the altar bride, and she slept with her best friend's younger brother. So this is a girl older than boy. Not like hugely cougarish, but enough. And she has to come back, and she leaves because, you know, the humiliation of being left at the altar is too much, and she has to basically come back and come to terms with everything and come clean, and she falls in love with the little boy. He's not little boy anymore, though. He wasn't a little boy back then either, but he's definitely not a little boy now. So that was fun. And I think that's that. That's enough. That's plenty. And that's how I ended up 2019. So if you lasted this long, good for you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.